studied about properties of material. And what was the properties of material? First is appearance, and next is soluble or insoluble. Next is transparency, and next is hard or soft, and next is object may float or sink in the water. So in the last lecture, we studied about the properties of material appearance. And what do you mean by appearance? Because every object look different from each other. Every object in the universe is different from the another object. As we see, wood is different from iron, and iron is different from copper, and copper is different from aluminium. So every object in the universe is very different from another objects. So this is the activity 3. Collect small pieces of different materials, paper, cardboard, wood, copper wire, aluminium sheet, and chalk. Do any of these appear shiny? So we are collecting small pieces of different materials. Suppose we are taking small piece of paper, and we are taking small piece of cardboard, and we are taking small piece of wood, and we are taking small piece of copper wire, and we are taking small piece of aluminium sheet and chalk. And in this object, some objects shine and some object does not shine. So we divide these materials into two categories, lusters and non-lusters. And what do you mean by lustrous object? Object which shine are called lustrous object, and objects which does not shine are called non-lustrous object. So how can we check whether a material is lustrous or non-lustrous? There are two methods to check whether it contains lusters or not. First method is cut the material into the middle, and if the cutting material contains shining surface, then it is lusters. And if the cutting surface does not contain shining surface, then it is non-lusters. And it is shown in the figure 4.3. If we cut the material into the middle, and if cutting piece contains shining surface, then it is a shining, then it is lustrous, and otherwise it is non-lustrous. Instead of cutting, you can rub the surface of material with sandpaper to see if it has luster. And what is the second method? And rub the material with the sandpaper. Rub the material with the sandpaper. If we rub the material with the sandpaper, then if it contains shining surface, then it is lusters, and if does not contain shining surface, then it is non-lusters. So there are two types of object. First is lusters, and second is non-lusters. So how can we check whether a substance is lusters or non-lusters? First method is by cutting, and second method is by rubbing the surface of material with sandpaper. So there are two types of object. First is lusters and non-lusters. And what are the example of lusters and non-lusters? Metals, iron, just like iron, copper, aluminium, and gold. These are all example of lustrous materials. And what are the example of non-lustrous material? Suppose we are taking wood. Wood does not shine, then it is non-lusters. And metal, iron shine, then it is lusters. Some metal are lusters, but sometimes some metal lose their shine. How they lose their shine? When they are exposed to air and moisture on them. When they are exposed to air and moisture, then the metal lose their shining and it becomes dull. And so it becomes non-lustrous. So their question arises, when metal becomes non-lustrous, when metal react with water or air, then it becomes non-lustrous. So these are the example of lustrous and non-lustrous. And second property of the material is hardness. And in the hardness, what we study, take some objects, just like wood, aluminium, nail, candle, chalk, and then we can scratch each material. Some material can be scratched easily, and some materials cannot be scratched easily. So the material which can be compressed are called soft materials, and the materials which cannot be compressed easily are called hard materials. The material which can be compressed easily are called soft material, and the material which cannot be compressed easily are called hard materials. And what are the example of soft materials? Cotton and sponge. These are soft materials. So these are soft materials, cotton and sponge. And what do you mean by hard materials? Some objects which cannot be scratched easily are called hard materials. And what are the example of hard materials? What are the example of hard material? Wood. It cannot be compressed. So this is the example of hard materials. So there are two types of material. First is soft and second is hard. What do you mean by soft material? Material which can be compressed easily. And the material which cannot be compressed easily are called hard material. In appearance, materials can have different properties like luster, hardness, and be rough or smooth. Can you think of other properties that describe the appearance of a material? As we know, first property of the material was appearance. So, and what is the another property? Next property is hardness. And what is another property? Rough or smooth. And luster is also a property of the material. And today we'll study about soluble or insoluble. And this is the next property of the material. What do you mean by soluble and what do you mean by insoluble? For checking soluble or insoluble, we are doing activity 4. Collect samples of some solid substances such as sugar, salt, and chalk powder, and sand, and sawdust. So we are collecting different solid substances, just like sugar, just like salt, just like chalk powder, and sand. We are collecting different solid substance. First substance is sugar, and second is salt, and third is chalk powder, and then sand. Then we are collecting these solid substances. Take 5 glasses or the beaker. Fill each one of them about 2/3 with water. So we are taking 5 beakers and we are filling each beaker about 2/3 with the water. And we are taking 5 beakers and fill each beaker with water about 2/3 with water. And then we are using 5 beakers, then add a spoonful of sugar in the first beaker and salt to the second beaker, and similarly add small amount of other substance into the other glasses. And then we add chalk powder to another glass. Then we add another substance to another glass. Stir the contents of each of them with a spoon. Then dissolve it with the help of uh, dissolve it with with the help of spoon and wait for a few minutes. Then wait for 5 to 10 minutes. Observe what happens to the substance added to the water. Then we dissolve salt into the water. Then we dissolve uh, sugar into the water. Then we will dissolve chalk powder into the water. Then we check whether what is the observation. And what is the observation? We are taking different substance just like salt, sugar, sand, chalk powder, and sawdust. So what is the observation for salt? And it disappear completely in the water. Means salt dissolve into the water. And the substance which dissolve in the water completely are called soluble water or soluble substance. And the substance which does not dissolve completely in the water are called non-soluble substance. So there are two types of substance. First is soluble and next is insoluble. The substance which dissolve in the water are called soluble substance, and the substance which does not dissolve in the water are called non are insoluble substance. So salt dissolve in the salt dissolve in the water, then it is soluble substance. And sugar is also dissolved in the water, then it is called soluble substance. Sand does not dissolve in the water, then it is insoluble substance. And what about chalk powder? Chalk powder also does not mix with the water, then it is called insoluble substance. So what do you mean by soluble and insoluble? The substance which dissolve in the water are called soluble substance, and the substance which does not dissolve in the water are called insoluble substance. So what is the activity 5? We are taking 5 beakers and then we are adding water in each beaker about 2/3. We are adding 2/3 of the beaker with the water. And then in the first beaker, we add, we are adding a spoonful of sugar. And then in the second beaker, we are adding salt. And in the third beaker, we are adding sand. And in the next beaker, we are adding chalk powder. And in the next beaker, we are adding sawdust. And we after adding these substance into the beaker, we are mixing these substance with the help of spoon. And after 5 to 10 minutes, what is the observation? Out of 5 substance, some substance mix in the water, and some substance does not mix in the water. And the substance which mix in the water are called soluble substance, and the substance which does not dissolve in the water are called insoluble substance. So salt dissolve in the water, so it is called soluble substance. And sugar dissolve in the water are called soluble substance. And sand does not dissolve in the water are called non-soluble substance. So these are the substances, and these are the disappearance in the water, whether it dissolve in the water or not. So there are two types of substances. First is soluble and next is insoluble. What do you mean by soluble substance? The substance which mix in the water are called soluble substance, and the substance which does not mix with the water are called non-soluble substance. And these are the example of soluble and insoluble. Salt and sugar is soluble and sand and chalk powder is insoluble. So these are the activity for checking whether a substance is soluble or insoluble, and whether a substance is soluble or insoluble. Next is water plays an important role in the functioning of our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Do liquid also dissolve in water? As we know, water is very important for our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances. As we know, water plays very important role in the functioning of our body, and because water is universal solvent because it dissolves many substances. Can liquid also dissolve in water? Yes, liquid can also dissolve in the water. So what is the importance of water in our body? It water maintains our body temperature. So these plays an important role in the functioning of our body. And water is a universal solvent because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Next is the activity 5. Collect samples of vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil, or coconut oil, and kerosene or any another liquid. We are collecting different samples of liquid, just like vinegar, just like lemon juice, just like mustard oil, just like coconut oil, just like kerosene. So we are collecting different samples of different liquids, just like vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil, coconut oil, and kerosene. Then we are taking a glass tumbler, fill it up to a half with water, and add a few spoonful of one liquid to this. So we are taking five samples of liquid. First is vinegar, next is lemon juice, third is mustard oil, and fourth is coconut oil, and fifth is kerosene. Then we are taking a glass tumbler and we are adding half water into the glass tumbler, and then add these liquid into the water, and then add vinegar to the first tumbler, and then add lemon juice to the second tumbler, and then add mustard oil into the third tumbler, and then add coconut oil into the fourth tumbler, and then add kerosene in the fifth tumbler. And we mix these liquid into the water with the help of spoon and wait for 5 to 10 minutes. And after waiting 5 to 10 minutes, what is the observation? And write your observation in the table 4.4. Suppose for in the case of vinegar, it mixes well in the liquid, and some liquid does not mix into the liquid, just like lemon juice mix well, but mustard oil does not mix well. So some substance mix well and some substance does not mix with the water. We notice that some liquids get completely mixed with water and some other do not mix with water. So as we know, some liquid is mixed with the water and other cannot be mixed into the water. Suppose lemon juice mixed with the water, but oil does not mix with the water. Others do not mix with the water and it forms a separate layer when kept aside for some time. When we add oil into the water, oil does not mix into the water and it forms a separate layer of the oil above the water. And some gases are also soluble in the water and whereas some others are not soluble in the water. As we know, some liquids can be dissolved into the water and some liquids cannot dissolve into the water. And the liquid which dissolve in the water are called miscible liquids, and the liquids which does not dissolve in the water are called immiscible liquids. The liquid which dissolve in the water are called the liquid which dissolve in the water are called miscible liquids, and the liquid which does not dissolve in the water are called immiscible liquids. Suppose salt solution, suppose for the example of lemon juice, it mixed with the water, then it is miscible liquid. And suppose oil does not mix in the water, then it is called immiscible liquid. Now, Pujo suggests we also check if the liquid that we used in activity 5 mix well with some liquid other than water. So we use some materials in the activity 5 and dissolve these substances into the another liquid as compared to as compared to water. But Haley is curious to know whether gases also dissolve in water. Haley wants to know that just like when solid dissolve into the water, liquid is also dissolved into the water, is gases also dissolve in the water. Some gases are soluble in water, whereas others are not. As we know, some gases are soluble in water, but some gases are not soluble in water. Water usually has small quantities of some gases dissolved into it. As we know, the formula of water is H2O, and hydrogen and oxygen gas is present into the water. For example, oxygen gas dissolved in the water is very important for survival of plants and animals that live into the water. So as we know, solid also dissolve into the water, and some liquids also dissolve into the water, just like liquid gases also dissolve into the water. But some gases are dissolved into the water, but some gases does not dissolve into the water. As we know, the formula of water is H2O. It means it contains hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas. And what is the use of this oxygen gas? These oxygen gas help with the survival of animals and plants that live into the water. Suppose fish lives in the water, and how they get oxygen? They get oxygen within the water, within the water, and so that they can survive into the water. So all aquatic animals survive into the water and they take oxygen from the water. So as we discussed in the activity 5, so there are two types of liquids. Some liquids can dissolve into the water and some liquids cannot dissolve into the water. So the liquid which dissolve in the water are called miscible liquids, and the liquid which does not dissolve into the water are called immiscible liquids. And what are the example of miscible liquids and immiscible liquids? Suppose vinegar, it mix well into the water. So this is the example of miscible liquids. And suppose coconut oil, it does not mix into the water. So this is immiscible liquids. So this is a coconut oil dissolve into the water, does not dissolve into the water. So this is immiscible liquids. So some liquid can be dissolved into the water and some liquids cannot dissolve into the water. So there are two types of liquid. First is miscible liquid and next is immiscible liquids. So vinegar mixed well, so it is called miscible liquid. And coconut oil does not mix, then it is called immiscible liquid. And what about the mustard oil? And it does not, it also does not dissolve into the water. And it forms a separate layer of oil above the water. As we know, in the daily life, when we add oil into the water, then it forms a separate layer of oil above the water. So there are two types of liquid. First is miscible liquid and next is immiscible liquid. And what do you mean by miscible liquids? The liquid which can dissolve into the water are called miscible liquids, and the substance which does the liquid which does not mix into the water are called immiscible liquids. So solid also dissolve into the water, liquid also dissolve into the water. And what about gases? Gases also dissolve into the water. But some gases are soluble in water and some gases are not soluble into the water. So suppose what is the formula of water? H2O means it contains hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas. So how aquatic animal, just like fish, how they get oxygen from the, how can they get oxygen from the water? They get so plants and animals living in the water, they take oxygen from the water so that they can survive into the water. So this is the activity and this is the property of the material. And next property of the material is object may float or sink in the water. So again, I am revising the activity and properties of the material. First property was that appearance. And what do you mean by appearance? Some objects look different from each other. Suppose iron is different from copper and copper is different from aluminium. So this is the appearance, and appearance is the property of material. So we have so many materials, just like paper, just like cardboard, just like wood, just like copper wire, just like aluminium sheet, and just like chalk. So when we add all these substances into the water, uh, when we collect these different materials, paper, cardboard, wood, copper wire, and aluminium sheet and chalk, and when we check they shine or not. If the some materials can shine and some materials cannot shine, so the materials which can shine are called lustrous material, and the object which does not shine are called non-lustrous material. And how can we check whether a material is shining or not? There are two methods to check whether it contains luster or not. First method is cutting the material into the half, and if the cutting material contains shining surface, then it is lustrous, and if the cutting material does not contain shine, then it is called non-lustrous. And second method is cutting the material with sandpaper, rubbing the surface of the material with sandpaper. If we rub the material with the sandpaper, then it is lustrous, and otherwise it does not contain lusters. So some material just like metal, iron, copper, aluminium, these they have lusters, and some materials which does not shine are called non lusters. And As we know, the second property of the material is hardness. And what do we mean by hardness? There are two types of material. First is soft and other is hard. The material which can be compressed easily are called soft material, and the materials which cannot be compressed are called hard material. For example, cotton. Cotton is soft. And what is the example of hard material? Iron. Iron is an example of hard material. Next is soluble or insoluble. For this activity 4, we are collecting different type of materials and we are filling each beaker into the water, and we are adding add a small amount of sugar to the first glass and salt to the second, and similarly add small amount of other substances into the glass. So we are adding different substance into the water, and we after adding different substance into the water, we are checking whether it dissolve into the water or it does not dissolve into the water. So out of these 5 items, salt and sugar dissolve into the water. So these are called soluble substance. The solid substance which dissolve into the water are called soluble substance, and the substance which does not dissolve into the water are called insoluble substance. And sand is insoluble. And what is the importance of water in our body? As we know, water plays a very important role in our body. Water maintains our body temperature, and because it dissolves, and water is a universal solvent. And why it is universal solvent? Because it can dissolve a large number of substance. And why water is universal solvent? Because it can dissolve a large number of substance. Next is activity 5. Collect some samples of vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil, or coconut oil, or kerosene, or any another liquid. Take a glass tumbler, fill it up with the water. So we are doing activity 5. We are taking 5 types of liquid, and we are mixing these liquid into the water, and then some liquid will mix into the water and some liquid will does not mix into the water. So the liquid which mix into the water are called miscible liquids, and the liquid which does not dissolve into the water are called immiscible liquids. Suppose vinegar mixes well, then it is called miscible liquids. And lemon juice, it mix well, then it is called then it is called miscible liquids. And suppose kerosene does not mix into the water, then it is called immiscible liquids. So these are miscible liquids and immiscible liquids. So next is, we notice that some liquids get completely mixed with water and some others do not mix with the water. So there are 2 types of liquid. First is miscible liquid and next is immiscible liquids. And next is a solid dissolve into the water, liquid dissolve into the water. And what about gases? Gases also dissolve into the water. So gases also dissolve into the water, but some gases dissolve into the water and some gases does not dissolve into the water. As we know, water contains gases. Why water? What type of gases are present in the water? As we know, the formula of water is H2O. It means it contains hydrogen as well as oxygen. So this is it contains hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas. For example, oxygen gas dissolved in the water is very important for survival of animals and plants that live in the water. So there are So some gases dissolve into the water, but some gases does not dissolve into the water. And water also contains two type of gases, hydrogen and oxygen. And next question is, how aquatic animal take oxygen gas from the water? Because water contain oxygen gas, and they can survive into the water because they take oxygen from the dissolve into the water. And what is the example of mixing of gases into the water? As we know, when we use cold drinks, then some gases are mixed into the liquids, then gases dissolve into the water, and this is the example of dissolving of gases into the water. Next property is, object may float or sink into the water. And what is another property? Next property is transparency, and we will discuss this property in the next class. And we are discussing basic of this property. Object may float over the water. So some object can float into the water, and some object can sink into the water. As we know, some materials can float and some materials can sink into the water. So we take different types of material and we add different materials into the water, and we will check whether it float or whether it sink into the water. And how can we check whether it float or sink into the water? The which are lighter, and they will float into the water, and the object which are heavier, and they will sink in the water. So this is also a property of the material. So first property was that appearance, and next is soft or hard materials, and third is soluble or insoluble. And what is the fourth property? Object may float or sink into the water. And what about fifth property? Transparency. So this is the all properties of materials. These are all properties of materials. So object may float or sink into the water. You might have noticed that the soluble liquids separated out from the water. You may have also noticed this with some liquids in the activity 5, and some of these materials that do not mix with the water floated to the surface of water. Others may have sunk to the bottom of the tumbler, right? We notice many examples of objects that float in the water or sink. So we are taking different materials and we are checking it will sink or float into the water. And then we check the substance which are lighter, then they float into the water, and the substance which are heavier, then they will sink into the water. Figure 4.6 shows some objects float into the water and some objects sink into the water. So next property is transparency, and we will discuss it in the next class. So any query regarding this topic? 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 Students, any query regarding this topic? Students, any query regarding this topic?